You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. We're going to be joined back on the phone with our regular guest, Dave, from Swale Community Leisure. As always, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm pleased to be back again.
If you could just give us a little bit of an introduction into your role and where you're based and what you do, and then we'll start off on our subjects.
Okay, excellent. Right, well, my name's Dave Harcourt. I'm the Executive Officer for Swale Community Leisure. Swale Community Leisure is a not-for-profit organisation that runs the two leisure facilities in Sittingbourne and the Isle of Sheppey on behalf of Swale Borough Council.
So last time we spoke was sort of just after the New Year surge. How's business been after that?
Well, historically, as you know, in the new year, lots of New Year's resolutions, business starts to boom, and it certainly did that in the new year. We had lots of new members coming in and using the facilities on Sheppey to the point where we were getting so busy. I wouldn't say we were turning people away because that wasn't the case, but actually it was very busy in the gym at peak time. So that was good to see. And you would think by now, actually, people would have started to drift away a little bit. But in actual fact, we've got one of the lowest attrition rates that we've come across in Kent for memberships of gyms. By attrition rates, that's the number of people who join over the number that leave a leisure centre. So we're actually doing very well in that respect, and I like to think we're doing something right. So business has been good.
Well, it certainly sounds like it. Now, I also understand that the Sheerness paddling pool's had some investment.
Yeah, now there's an interesting subject. People who live in Sheerness, or in fact across the Isle of Sheppey, will know that behind the leisure centre is the paddling pool, which for many years has been a free facility for members of the public. Now, at the end of last season, it was coming to probably the end of its productive life in its current form. So there were lots of discussions over the close period about is it going to be opened again? Should we open it again? So the site is actually run and owned by Swale Borough Council, and in negotiations with them, a decision was made to put some money in to try and get it up to standard and get it running again. And I'm pleased to say that it did actually open with a number of improvements. So hopefully members of the public will have seen that.
So are you at Swale Community Leisure responsible for that paddling pole?
Okay, I mean, just to be clear, we look after the plant and make sure all the chemicals and dosing's up to date. We look after, in the morning, we do a tidy up, and at night time, we have a tidy up as well. But in between, it is a public facility, so it falls within the remit of Swale Borough Council's play areas. So it's looked after in a similar way. So you get the people who come along to do the bin clearing during the daytime, and it doesn't necessarily fall to us. However, because the site is adjacent to our leisure centre, of course we've got a vested interest, and we put some time and effort into this as well as Swale Borough Council. For instance, Swale Borough Council spent nearly £25,000 doing the place up, and I know that talking to members of the public, they said, well, I don't actually see what you spent £25,000 on. Well, Daniel, I can tell you this, the plant that was replaced took up most of that money. So just to make it safe and to make sure that the chemicals kept the water clean and fit for usage, that's where most of the money went. There was some tidying up that was done. There was some clearing up of grassy areas, and there was some painting. But to be honest with you, we undertook most of that ourselves because we wanted to try and help the council to get this fit and serviceable for members of the public. So yes, we have got a certain amount of responsibility, but actually it's a partnership. And it's between us. We try and keep the place going.
So is there anything more that can be done to improve it, do you think?
Well, I'm always interested in seeing what we can do to improve the area. I mean, going back over a number of years now, we've been working on what we call the Beachfields Regeneration Project. And this is one of the first steps in trying to improve some of the outdoor area. So, yes, there is more that can be done. I think one of the problems is if you have a nice area surrounded by tatty, horrible areas, inevitably that place gets abused because people treat it in the same way as they would do the horrible tatty areas. And I think this is one thing that has become apparent to me. And I would urge members of the public, maybe contentiously, but actually this is your space. Help us keep it tidy and clean. We've had lots of experiences over the last couple of years with things like nappies disposed of just by being put down by the fence, bins not being used, and we do get abuse from some people. I think we found that that people dumping rubbish in the pool, for instance. But with the investment that's been made, I believe that the users that are coming along now, and this is held out by the people I've seen there, feel a little bit more responsible, and they actually want to maintain the quality of the place. So by working together, I think we're on track to making it a much nicer place for young people and families for the summer to come.
Well, talking about the summer, is there anything else taking place in the near future?
Well, the summer is obviously one of the busiest times, particularly at a place like Sheerness, which is a holiday destination, and dare I say, up and coming again to what it used to be like many years ago. A little way to go yet, but we are working with Swale Borough Council and other partners to try and get there. Well, the paddling pool itself is open, of course, and although we did have some teething problems when it first opened, that's all been overcome now, and it's been tested over the last few months to make sure that it's safe and suitable for current usage and constant usage as well during the summer. But on top of that, we do have our holiday scheme that's running on Sheppey as well within the leisure complex. Part of that is Superstars Holiday Club, which is our daily club where we look after children from 9 till 5 o'clock each day for ages of 5 to 12 years. On top of which, we've got some really exciting visitors coming down. So we're having some karate taster sessions for those people who like to be more active. Circus skills workshop, which actually, even if you don't think you're active, taking part in circus skills workshops, I think will get you very fit and active. We've got a photo booth, we've got inflatable fun, we've got a magic show, we've got a multi-sports day, a roller disco, Nerf wars, and of course we've also got our main swimming pool inflatables out. So I think it's going to be an exciting time for children and families throughout the summer.
Is there any other news?
Yes, I mean, I have to say, working at Swale Community Leisure never leaves me with a dull day. And we're working with Swale Borough Council on a number of different projects across the borough to try and improve facilities for local people. Now, during the last winter period, we did have some issues with refurbishments taking place in the centre. So one of the big issues that's being dealt with now is we're looking at making some overhauls to the roof, both on the pool and also in the Healthy Living Centre. That work we're hoping is going to start within the next month, so that before the weather sets in badly for the winter, which probably won't be till October now, we hope, we'll get everything ship-shape ready for the coming period. On top of which, those of you who regularly walk down there towards Beach Street will have noticed that the tennis courts are in a bit of a state. They have been cleaned up now, so they've been mechanically cleaned and the fences have been repaired. Now, clearly they're not going to be suitable for competition tennis, but at least one of the courts will be usable during the summer. We're hoping over the next few months to make improvements on that, so they could possibly be usable during the winter as well. So there are a number of things happening. We're also looking at the possibility of running some activities in the park. And for next season, looking ahead, we're hoping we might be able to look at the possibility of adventure golf somewhere in one of the green spaces. So plenty in the offing, plenty to come, but of course lots more work to do as well.
Is there anything else you'd like to cover or any useful contact details you can give out for us?
Well, I think for any interest in Sheppey Leisure Complex, it's probably worth making a note that actually all bookings take place via our reception, and the phone number is 01795 668 061. Or you can book online for some activities by going on to www.swaleleisure.com.
Dave, as always, thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us. It really is appreciated.
Thank you, Daniel, and hopefully you'll invite me back sometime.
Yeah, we look forward to your regular slot. So, we look forward to seeing you in a couple of months.
Brilliant, and have a great summer.